Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So in this AFK journey video, we are going to talk about the Brawl tree for Relentless Rumble. And the goal of today's video is to provide you guys with a few team ideas for you guys to secure at least 20 kills right here to get all your free rewards over here. So the strongest team is one consisting of the Mauler variant, which I'll talk about later to showcase the numbers, and I'll also be recommending the different team setups for you to maximize your damage to get more kills on this monster over here. So the few different factors to consider for Winsoul. Number one, Winsoul is strong against magical damage dealer because of the elemental shield. Winsoul is also strong against range attacker because of the turbulence ability over here. So you want to feature melee units that are more physical or true damage by nature, or feature true damage unit to try to reduce the damage reduction damage done to your team. So these are the few, I'll say, like ideas that you guys want to consider. On top of that, the Rampant Tornado ability deals damage. The damage part is not scary, but the part where he pushes your unit back causes channeling skill like Smokey's Aroma to be less effective, because when Smokey is pushed back, then he will stop channeling, and then you lose a lot of buff time as well as ultimate uptime for Smokey itself. So these are the few factors to consider, and without further ado, let's talk about the core idea for maximum damage. So core idea is to use Shakir as well as Mikola to provide the buff for your team so that your other units hit as hard as possible to actually finish the units very fast, right? And then you will be able to jump from unit to unit, and then you will get more kills that way. So to go with Mikola and Shakir, right, Seth is the best choice because Seth is a melee unit. Seth is a unit with quite a bit of burst, and Seth is also a unit that follows Shakir's in terms of aura. So he's also a physical attacker, so not really that much affected by the third skill over here. So we'll be also using Barrel for the factional bonus as well as melee as well as physical damage. And then for the very last slot, you can use Odie for maximum factional bonus, or right, you can actually use your really strong melee attacker like Corin for the job as well. You can also use Vala. I think Vala is quite a good attacker against this unit because Vala has two forms, especially the melee form, which does true damage, as well as melee, which will also benefit from Shakir's aura. So I will be buffing up Shakir with resonating spell so that Shakir will have the maximum aura uptime for this. So I'm going to showcase this battle, and then you guys can see the maximum damage. So the highest damage against this boss particularly is actually 29 kills, at least within my district. So you can also run OD against this boss because OD has an insta-kill ability. So if your threshold is high enough, you will be able to kill the unit instantaneously once you reach like that little bit more bar. So this will give your other units more time to jump across the board to actually kill the other units. And depending on where the units spawn, depending on where Vala stands or where your units are repositioned, whether or not you get the maximum buff from Shakir's aura, you will be able to fine-tune your damage from there. But the idea is to get the buff from Shakir and Mikola, and then fuse out the stronger DPS units to get as many kills as possible. So 21, 22, okay, 23, okay, 24, 25, 26, okay, 26 Q. So this is with this team, okay. So 26 here, this is the damage distribution. You can see that Seth is the highest damage dealer because of physical, melee, as well as the Mauler faction. So Vala is a little bit far off, 31.699k. So it's not the best, but it is actually better than OD because OD is good because of the factional bonus. So specifically for this team, I'm just going to showcase OD, right? Why is like OD not that good? But here, we're going to put Shakir here. We're going to put OD as a carry with the Resonator buff. So OD is good only specifically in this team because of the insta-kill, because all the other units are able to bring down the HP of the units, and because OD is a Mauler, so you get the full Mauler team buff with this setup. But OD in every other team is not as good because the damage output from OD is not as high against this boss because it's reduced by the ultimate as well as the magical shield. So it's quite massive. It affects his damage output by quite a bit. But because you have other units to quickly bring down the HP of the enemy, the insta-kill actually comes in pretty fast in this setup. Okay, so OD is also quite good against this boss, specifically only in this team. But in a normal magical team, which I'll showcase later, is not as good unless you have a way to quickly bring down the enemy, and then slotting OD in just for the insta-kill is okay. right? But later on, you guys will see the damage distribution on why OD is not exactly the best. Okay, so 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Can we get 24? 24 insta-Q. 25. Can we get 26? Yes, we can get 26. Okay, very close to 27. The very last one almost popped. So this is the OD team setup. Okay, now let's run through the damage. So you can see that right here, right, OD is doing way less damage, but your other units are doing a little bit more because of the addition of the factional bonus. So this way OD is planted into the team for that additional like Heart Crusher ability for insta-Q, so that you actually like jump around between the units a lot faster for the melee ones. So in this case, another team that I want to try or to max out my damage is to actually use Shakir with, use Seth with that resonating spell buff and see how it goes. So later on, right, there are other units which are quite good against this Winslow over here. So units like Corin, melee, true damage, physical at times, pretty decent. Units like Termesia is okay as well. Melee, physical damage, benefits from Shakir's aura. You can also use units like Lily May. So despite Lily May being a magical range damage dealer, the scaling of Lily May is so good that her damage output actually rivals that of the Vala level. So the highest like attackers or the highest damage dealers against this Winslow over here is obviously your melee attackers, but like I mentioned earlier, because Lily May scales so well that Lily May is sort of like this T2 character after Seth as well as Barrel. So she's still okay to use if you have her built up, which I think most people do. So this is me running Resonator spell on Seth to see whether I can beat the record. So I don't think it's as good as I thought it would be. Yeah, I don't think it's as good as I thought it would be, because can I get 27? No, I'm only 26. Yeah, so because for this case, right, I think Seth's job is bouncing around and dealing damage with the second skill itself. So even if you have the resonating buff on him, he does a little bit better. But I think in general, if you use the resonating spell on OD for his insta Q proc to sort of proc faster, I think the speed of killing the units is the same. And for this account itself, the Seth isn't really that developed, not EX15 yet. So that's why OD with the higher EX weapon has a faster Heart Crusher compared to anything else. So this is the reason. Okay, now next let's move on to the other units that are good for this boss. So other units, like I mentioned earlier, Corin's pretty decent. So I will be building around the Shakir and Mikola combo. So for Shakir's case, right, personally you just need the aura for the team support, because you guys realize that in terms of the damage distribution itself, our dear Shakir is not actually a carry unit. He does quite a bit, but his job in the team is more for the aura, for you to maximize your DPS on your core units. So Corin's pretty good. So I'm going to put Corin here. We are going to put Vala as well. And then you want to finish this up with Termesia or Merrily or Sinbad. So I'm going to go with Sinbad. Okay, so let's go with the battle. So Sinbad, melee, light bearer, get some factional bonus. And I think in terms of clearing this monster itself, Mikola and Shakir would be pretty much the core that you build around with, because the buff that they provide for your team is just insane. Like this aura buff for your melee units is just so good, and because they are also melee attackers, right? They're all melee and physical as well, so they are able to do a little bit of damage on their own. So you just got to max out your damage with the other DPS carries or other melee units that actually goes really well against this Winslow over here. Okay, so you guys can see Corin just bouncing around. Okay, I'm giving him the resonating buff because he's one of the hardest damage dealer from the light bearer faction, so he's able to kill the Winslow as fast as possible. Okay, done. 21, 22. So we get like 21, 22 kills here, 23 kills probably. Okay, so now let's take a look at the damage distribution. Okay, so you guys can see that Corin is on the higher range. Vala's also pretty good. So like I mentioned, these two units, they are like the more premier attackers from the light bearer side. Sinbad is okay. I personally think that Sinbad is not that good, particularly because he actually disappears for quite a bit. You want units that are permanently on the field, so Termesia is okay. Even Merrily actually does quite a good job as well, because Merrily, despite being a range attacker, is a true damage dealer, so she will bypass the magical shield. So even with that damage reduction on Merrily, she will still be able to do quite a bit of damage here. So obviously no Sinbad, then we're going to put in Merrily. So in this case, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Shakir the resonating spell so that he keep the ultimate up for as long as possible. Okay, so same strategy as the Seth combo. So instead of buffing the carry, we are giving the resonating buff to the aura carrier. Okay, so we'll see the merely damage numbers later. Okay, hitting 7. Pacing is okay. 9. 10. Okay, we are about the halfway range, so we should be able to hit 20 with this team comp. And because Vala is already steamrolling with the EX weapon, so we should be able to do quite well. Should be able to hit at least 20 from this pacing. Okay, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, 2 more to hit 20. Okay, should be 22, 23 range. Okay. Okay, 22 range. I don't think we can finish the last one. Can we? Okay, 23. Nice. Okay, so this is with Merrily. Okay, so this is Merrily's damage, as you guys can see. Not the best, but I think it's decent enough to be like this third carry for the team. And next, let's talk about the Wilder side. Okay, so for the Wilder side, unfortunately, Wilder is not known to be physical by nature, but they do have a physical attacker, Lenya. So you can feature Lenya. You can also still use Lily May. I think Lily May, even though she's a magical attacker, she hits really hard against any monsters because of her scaling. Because the more you kill, the more damage she gains. So I'm going to put Lenya as the main carry. And then we're going to put Florbell. So Florbell will be able to provide physical damage and also summon the kids to hold on to the Honor Arena for you to get the maximum buff duration on Mikola. So let's start this battle. So Iron's not particularly good against this because of the massive reduction in magical damage. And you can't actually control this boss. So the magic defense reduction from Iron Supreme Plus skill is not gonna proc, which sort of reduces his efficiency as well. Despite Iron being a melee unit, you can obviously still run him because you are still using Lily May, so you still will be able to amp up Lily May's damage by quite a bit. But I think for this one specifically, using the Mikola and Shakir combo, you want your melee characters to be fielded, and melee physical carriers will be the best. Yeah, but I know nobody will have Kafra trained, so unfortunately, you have very limited choices from the Wilder side. So that's why we are fielding Lily May. So 15, 16, 17, 18 right here, 19, 20. I think should be able to hit 23. Okay, 21, 22, 23. Okay. Oh no, we didn't even pop the last one, but it's fine. So this is from the Wilder side. Okay, so you can see the damage from Lenya being one of the highest. Okay, and then we have our dear Lily May over here. So the reason why the Mono team is a little bit better is because you get more factional bonus because we are running this core over here. But this team idea is okay as well, because it's physical centric, and then you have Lily May as a secondary carry. So you can scale Lily May to compare the damage between her and Vala, I guess. And then Lenya will be comparable to Corin and Seth, so on and so forth. So you guys can see the difference. Okay, now next let's talk about the Graveborn side. Okay, Graveborn side is even more challenging in a sense because Graveborn is not known to have a lot of good physical attacker. I think Sylvana is gonna work here. Right? So you don't have that many good choices, at least together with Shakir. But I guess Celezo and Sylvina will do, even though I don't think a lot of people will have Celezo invested. So I think in Celezo's place, you can actually run either Torrent, right, as well as Cecil, I guess, because Cecil does have Mr. Chaos for the melee unit. Let's see. Igor is okay, but Igor's not known to hit very hard. So I think we will stick to this, and we will go with the aura buff on Shakir, I guess. Okay, so let's go. So for the Graveborn side, I think it's not going to perform as well. I don't think it will hit the 20 kill mark. I might be wrong. We shall see. And for Celezo's case, I don't think Celezo is a unit that a lot of people will have invested. So I would advise you guys to not use the Graveborn class if possible, because I don't think Graveborn will be as strong as the other classes, because they lack this Seth as well as a secondary carry structure to fully capitalize on the Shakir Mikola aura. Although I could be wrong, based on the pacing over here. We are a little bit slower, but we are still hitting the 10 around the halfway point, 11, and we are ramping up because Chaos is on the battlefield. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? Okay, we'll look at the damage numbers later to sort of scale the team a little bit better. Maybe Celezo's not the best option here. 19. Okay, we are really close to 20 for the Graveborn side because Graveborn doesn't have this like burst damage dealer. Yeah, so Cecil is like Vala tier in terms of damage. And then we don't have a Seth tier unit in the Graveborn side. So pretty unfortunate. So in terms of building up the best team for this Brawl, you need, I'll say, like a Seth level unit in terms of the... Okay, we will be... Let's say if you're using these two core, right, you need a Seth level unit. So for Seth level, we have the likes of Lenya. Very good single damage dealer. We also have the likes of Corinne. So this is the Seth level units. So Lenya over here. Okay. And then we need like a Vala level unit as a secondary DPS. So Vala level, Lily May is also okay. Barrow is in the Vala level tier. I personally think Cecil is there as well. Yeah, so those few units, at least based on our testing earlier. Let's see. Tamazia's fine as well. I think Tamazia is more on like this slightly below that tier. So I think Tamazia, Sinbad. Where's Sinbad? Sinbad together with Florabelle as well as Merrily. They are like tier 1.5, right? If Seth is T0 with Corinne as well as Lenya, then the Lily May tier will be T1. This will be T1.5. Pretty close. I would say that this unit is like a lot worse. It's just that they are not as good, so tier 1.5. And then just pair them with Mikola as well as Shakir. So Smokey is not as good because Smokey gets cancelled, gets repositioned. You don't get your maximum buff uptime. And for the other units, if your team has issues surviving and you don't have Mikola Seth, you can run Mikola Hewin obviously. But against this unit, if you want to get your 20 kill, I think you minimally will need Seth and Shakir and Mikola combo, so that you can actually build a team around this idea to get maximum buff so that you can kill the units as fast as possible. So this will be the team idea, and that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know if you have other creative ways to deal with this unit. I think Reese is also a fine unit because it's a physical attacker, but then Reese is a range. So I think in general, range units are just not as good against this monster, and that's why in terms of getting your 20 kills itself, it's much better to just rely on the melee units. Best being true damage and physical attackers in general. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let me know how many kills you get, and what if there's a better sort of like kill score based on your own account. Let me know, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.